Hey, slave descendants. Y'all getting used to me calling y'all slave descendants yet? Better get used to it, because that's what I call you. Oh, bugs. Um, I wanted to come on and let you know that Khadijah's birthday, there's a bug in here, is in 2 days. And I want to do something for her birthday. I don't know. I do know. I want to maybe go through some more of my journey, uh, show more of the videos of my procedures and some more of the stuff that I did um, for my child, because nobody had any answers. So I did a lot of stuff. I actually, and then, I was looking on the internet, and if you look, you'll see Belinda Wood versus the state of Florida. That complaint is like a lot of websites have it listed, but nobody knows my story like I know my story. And I say that to say, um, I was looking at one of the websites that critiqued or that did a review on my complaint, my federal complaint, and it said that I did not contact or let people know that I was going to file the complaint, which is why they dismissed it. But that's not true, because I did. I let a lot of people know, and I think that might be what I might do. Um, Between now and her birthday, I'm going to find the documents where it shows all the people that I let know what happened, and that I was asking for help. I asked for help from a lot of people, and maybe that's what I'll do to show that after Justin Brandis hurt my baby, I reached out to a lot of people for help. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. A lot of very important people I reached out to help me, or to do something about the fact that they didn't even lock him up. And he's still not locked up to today. And yes, he does have my grandson, Khadijah's son. He's had my grandson since the day he um, pulled off while she was buckling Julian, my grandson, into the back seat. Khadijah was buckling him into the back seat. Now you try to imagine that, putting a child in the back seat into the car seat, buckling him in, and while you're doing that, you're standing in between the door frame to do that, because that's how you would do it. You would stand in between the door frame and secure the child. So Justin was sitting in the driver's seat, and I could care less if he says this lady does never shut up, because I'm not going to shut up. This is what he did. This is my story. I tell it exactly the way it happened, because I know how it happened. Um, she was, yeah. He pressed the accelerator while she was standing between that door, and he pressed that accelerator so hard, he drug her while she was standing between that door, trying to get my grandson buckled in, her baby buckled into that seat. He drug her until she hit the ground, until she fell. So he pulled off at a escalated speed. Now, if you're in between a door frame and you're caught up, and who knows, the passenger might have been holding on to her hair, because there was a big cloud of her hair missing out of her head. So between him and the passenger, him pressing the accelerator, and she couldn't get her balance, and because the passenger had a hold of her hair, until the passenger let go. Gosh, hold on. The passenger let go of her hair, and that's when she hit the ground. She fell. And he continued to accelerate, and he ran over her head. At the same time, my grandson was yelling, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." So anyway, Khadijah's birthday is tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but in a few days. And I miss my child. And I talk about her a lot, don't I? Because I'm not letting it go. So what I'm gonna do is right after that happened, I reached out to tons of people, and I'm gonna show you all the people that I reached out to. That's where I started. I started asking for help. Somebody help me. And what else? I'm gonna do that. So I might do that and do a few other things between now and then. But I didn't sit down for it. No. And I'm not really too interested in telling everybody my story. The reason why I talk to you all, slave descendants, is because, like I told you, I started a company, and I'm here to help you. I'm here to assist you. I'm going to teach you what I know, so you can do it yourself. So you can gather your information, so you can put together your timeline, so you can read everything, so you can know what happened. I do say, and I know you think I'm being a little harsh, but I do say that you don't need the police. You don't need the police, and you don't need the state's attorney's office. You don't need none of them. But what you have to do is go around in the hospital. You don't need none of them. Just what they do for you is they put all your information together. But you got to go get it. You got to go get it. Once you go get it, then you tell your own story, because your story is in those documents. And that's your stuff. That's the stuff that that was written about your family member. So you got to go get it. The other thing is, I think some people are feeling like, well, what happened with the case? Nothing happened, of course. They kicked it under the rug, which is what they do to us black people. They run around calling ourselves African Americans, Africans. They put it under the rug. To them we don't deserve any justice, and we sure as hell don't get it. But sometimes justice is just knowing what happened. That's justice. And once you ask them to help you and they refuse to help you, and they don't do anything about what you say, all the information you've given them, they still say, we don't see anything, we don't know what happened, but we don't see anything. Once you go through all that and you bring it up to them and you let them know that you want their help and they don't help you, then pretty much it's their loss, not yours. It's not my loss, it's their loss. Because I told them everything that I know would happen. Actually, that one of those there was an interview that I had with some attorneys. Remember that one that I was on the phone, and we did the I forget the name of it. Anyway, we had to come together in order to decide whether or not, if we were going to move forward and how we were going to move forward, and we came up with our schedules to move forward, and they allowed me to submit interrogatories. That's what that meeting was. It was for me to be able to be on a time schedule to submit my interrogatories, and I did interrogatories, and that's another video that I have, and that is something else that I might I might put that together for y'all, because it was a little, I know it was a little game they played to say, oh, let's let her do interrogatories to see what she has. And I did the interrogatories, and I'm going to put together that video for Khadijah's birthday as a gift to show you guys what I did with the interrogatories. Interrogatories is when you are able to ask questions. You are able to submit questions to the attorneys, and they should respond to them. They should answer them. I did submit them. They did not answer them. But like I said, they wanted those questions just so they could see what I had. They found a judge to dismiss my case with prejudice, for me to rewrite it. Okay? Because they found some imperfections, some things wrong. I didn't rewrite it because I felt like, why should I rewrite it? You got the message. I submitted, I want to say almost 100 interrogatories, separate first. It was 13 people on the complaint. So I submitted almost 100 interrogatories divided up between the 13 of them, okay, of the people that were on my complaint. So they got the message. They wanted me to rewrite it. No, I'm not going to. I asked, they knew what the questions were. But for me to rewrite it and to argue with people that were not there, people that do not, which were their attorneys. Why would I argue with attorneys? That didn't make no sense. Why would I argue with attorneys? I'm not an attorney. So it didn't make sense for me to argue with attorneys. I couldn't get an attorney. No attorney would help me. So it didn't make sense for me to rewrite it and argue with them and fight with them, which they already knew they were going to beat me up over what I knew was the truth. So why would I sit there and let people attack me when I'm already traumatized from going through Justin Brandis running over my daughter, going through the hospital, measuring my daughter's organs, and prior to that, the hospital sold Khadijah to the Organ Foundation while she was still on the ground before they put her into the ambulance. And that's a whole nother story, because I have the receipt for that, where they sold her as they sold her and changed her name. They sold her they made her a grantor of her body and sold her body to the organ people, okay, while she was on the ground. So I'm like traumatized for life. But because I know all these things, it doesn't bother me, because I know everything. So yeah, back to me arguing with attorneys, arguing with strangers, people that don't know me, people that have hatred for our culture, for the now that we've kind of figured out who we are, FBAs, people that hate us. Why would I argue the truth with people that hate me? The people that hate all of us, FBAs, slave descendants. It didn't make no sense. So I left it where it was. I let it lay where it was. Now, like I say, if you Google Belinda Wood versus the state of Florida, you'll see everything I did, and me telling you that it was pointless to argue with the devil. with demons that created the mess, that created the trauma that I was suffering, that created all of it. That didn't make, that was not going to happen. Because that kind of spirit would be in me dealing with them. Just even talking to them, it was like a demonic spirit. Just being on the phone with them, being in meetings with them. It was horrible. It was just like a horrible, it was like letting devils in my circle, in my space. And they were like, I hated talking to them on the phone, those attorneys. I hated talking to any of those attorneys on the phone. I hated when they addressed me, being on the phone with them on that conversation where I was in that interview with for that meeting to set up for interrogatories. They were laughing like things were funny because they're devilish. They're just devilish. So what kind of sense would it make for me to, they knew that they knew that what their clients did was wrong. And how do you go to bat with somebody that's defending people that are wrong? You don't. You let them live and soak in that. You let them soak in it. Every single thing between the hospital selling Khadijah, the organ people, foundation people, organization people, purchasing her and becoming a grantee of her body, and then changing the name on her body to Trauma Outlet 734 and leaving her birthday connected to the alias name Trauma Outlet 734, and so they could identify her body. That's why they left her birthday attached to her name, to her body, and then they put a new name on it. Because when you purchase a house, if you have a house to sell, you're the grantor of the home because you own the home. And then once you sell it, you're selling it to a grantee. The grantee is the new owner of the home, and that's who owns it. So if you are the grantor of your body and you grant your body to somebody, now, one, Khadijah was unconscious. Two, Khadijah was not an organ donor. So how could she become a grantor and sell her body to the organ people when she wasn't even conscious? Now, they did this prior to putting her in the ambulance to take her to the hospital to fix her head injury. Okay? That's what I put in that complaint, because that's what they did. Those were my questions. Did you? I didn't ask any questions that I didn't know the truth to. So everything I asked, I already knew the answer. Okay? The medical examiner, I asked him, did you put that Khadijah was not pregnant? And I asked that because I already knew the answer. On the autopsy, it was clearly said on there, never pregnant. When I have all the documents from the hospital, the x-rays, the ultrasound, I have everything from the hospital, the abortion that they performed on her. I have all of that from the hospital. I have DVDs, CDs, or whatever you want to call them, x-rays. I have all of that clearly showing that she was 8 weeks pregnant. But on the autopsy, it said she was never pregnant. So, and you see, I'm not upset, I'm not crying. You know why? Because the fact that I know, I have my story. I know the whole story. I know every single thing they did to my baby, to Khadijah, to my child. Okay? So, um, and I'm already 20 minutes. I was just going to tell y'all that Khadijah's birthday's coming up this month, April 30th, and I'm going to get back on here and do a few things because I want to show you guys some stuff. I think that if anything has happened to any of your family members, you should write down, get a binder, go to the store, Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, wherever you want to go, and get a binder, get a notebook, and start writing down everything that's on your mind, everything that happened, everything you remember, who said what to you, people's reactions. Just start writing stuff down so you can remember those dates, and write down the last minutes of your family members, the last minutes would happen, and make sure you get names of everybody. Just start writing things down, and yeah, start writing things down. Go get you a binder, and even if it happened 20 years ago, go get you a binder and write down everything you remember, because you probably have been traumatized to the point that it's 20 years later and you still have no peace. But if you write it all down and then write it down. I have binders and binders and binders and binders of stuff. But anyway, yeah. So I'm going to hold myself to it. I'm going to get on here and I'm going to show you guys all the people I asked for help, all the people I reached out to and asked for help. And I'm trying to put that together and try to show y'all that, because I think it's important. Because the thing that people always say to me, well, did you try to get an attorney, or what do you think? What do you think? What kind of question is that? Did you get an attorney? And another question, what kind of question is, well, where's the boyfriend? Where's the ex-boyfriend? Where do you think he is? A white man that harmed a black woman, a young black person. Where do you think the white man is? Well, where's your grandson? Well, where do you think he is? Where do you think my grandson is? He's with the white man. Okay. Duh. Well, what'd you do about it? You haven't seen your grandson? Why haven't you seen your grandson? Well, why do you think I haven't seen my grandson? That's what all y'all asking. Where's your grandson? Have you seen your grandson? Did he go to jail? What y'all think? What you think? Come on now. Let's wake up. Let's wake up. Don't be slow. Wake up. The answer to all those questions is, did he go to jail? No. Have I seen my grandson? Did he say he didn't? Did he pull the white card after he ran Khadijah's head over and accelerated that car and drug her between that door and then ran over her head? Did he pull the white card when they all showed up and started asking him what happened? Did he pull the white card? What you think? Okay. Seriously. Stop asking dumb questions. Have I seen my grandson? Did he pull the white card and they told him to take the baby and go? You think he sat back and said, oh no, I better not take the baby. I better stay here with this black family, and y'all just go ahead and I better not play the white card. I better not act like a nasty, filthy, stinking white man. No, better not do that. Okay? Don't ask dumb questions. Anyway, and then another thing y'all do is they're like, oh, I'm a different person. I would have had to handle that. I would have had to do this, that. Well, I was mad like that too. And there was a lot of things I wanted to do. But instead, I went to the community college up the street. I went to the community college and signed up for paralegal studies. Okay? And I did a lot of Googling. Because they set their legal system up. First of all, you can't get in a law library because they put them where you can't find them most of the time. And if they're where you can find them, you can't get in unless you're a student. So you can't get access to their books, to their legal literature. You can't get access to their books, any of their stuff. Okay? They make it very difficult for you. And when you do get access to it, you have no idea what you're looking at. But you're angry. You want to go beat somebody up. You want to go kill somebody. You want to go attack somebody. You want to go do something to somebody. And that's how we've been taught. We've been taught to respond with revenge. But the best revenge, I found out, because I wanted to respond with revenge, because I was never taught to pick up a pen and put it to the paper. But after it got to the point that I really didn't have a choice but to pick up a pen and put it to paper, when I started writing, I just never stopped. I never put the pen down. I just went from the next thing to the next thing to the next thing. And when I was defeated, I just went back and I just kept going back. They defeated me again and I just kept going back. I found more information. I started putting it together. I started putting it in form in the way of a complaint. I just kept complaining and complaining and complaining and complaining and complaining and complaining and submitting and submitting and submitting and submitting and submitting. And I just I couldn't stop because there was so much. It was just so much that had happened and so much information just for one little incident. And I don't think I would have held on to it so long had they locked Justin Brandis up. Had they locked him up, even if it would have been for 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, I would have been angry, but it would have distracted me and it would have threw me off to the point that I would have not tried to dig so deep into what happened, because immediately when I realized the attorneys, there was an attorney that I did have that was going to go after him if he was charged. But then when he didn't get charged, and the attorney wasn't trying to charge him. Of course, it's Pinellas County, Florida. They weren't trying to charge him because the state's attorney's office was not trying to charge him. So, and they knew this because they all work together. They all work. And I really mean together. Like this. You see how tight my finger? Lock your fingers like this. And try to pull them apart. Okay? Lock them like this. And try to pull them apart. Okay? Now, you want to put the police, the city, the state of Florida, the medical examiners, the nurses, the hospital, the Organ Foundation, and what else? And the investigators. You don't have enough fingers. Okay, let's use the thumbs. Did I say the state's attorney's office? I don't know. But all of them, like this, they all work together. Okay? They all work together like that. And you know what? They don't even know who they're doing it for. Like, they work together like this to protect Justin Brandis. And they didn't even care who Justin Brandis really was. You understand? They could care less who he was. He was the devil. He still is the devil. And him is to ask questions. And those state's attorneys came out into the foyer area down by the where you check in, come in through the little things for the police, for the, security thing. And the state's attorney people came downstairs to talk to them. And they had the cameras on them, on the family members had the cameras on those attorney's face. I gotta get off this video because one of my folks is coming in. But when that man turned to go back to run into the back office, he was laughing. And I say he was laughing, and you know why he's laughing? Because he can. He's laughing because that's what they do. They laugh. They don't help you because they don't care. They don't care. But anyway, you guys send me an email, Slave Descendants of the USA, and we can talk. I'm not telling all my stuff here on this. I don't want them to know my story. I don't want to tell them my story. I don't want to tell them. I don't want to tell the world. I don't want to tell white people. You understand? I do not want them to know my story. I do not want them to know my fight, my struggle. And I want to say, the reason why I say send me an email, slave descendants of the USA at gmail.com. And I tell you to do that because this is between you and I. This is between the slave descendants and Khadijah Wood's mom. And all you slave descendants out there, if you want to do a timeline, I'm here to assist you. If you want to, the other thing I'm working on, I'm critiquing and getting better at, is helping slave descendants share organs amongst each other. You understand? Share organs amongst each other. Because I say that to say that there are so many of us out here that are in need of organs that are slave descendants that are just not getting them. But they exist because our family members are getting killed all the time. And then after they're getting killed, I was harassed. I'm gonna speak for myself. I was harassed at the hospital to give my daughter's organs. Then after they harassed me to give organs, they stole organs. And even though they harassed me because she was not a donor. But even with the harassment, they had already sold her. Khadijah was already sold. They already took her organs. They just needed me to sign because she was not a donor. But they had already did everything before they even put her in an ambulance. But I want to say to you guys, peace. Take it easy. All right? Take it easy. And yeah, my baby's birthday is coming up soon. And I know y'all can see the difference in me then, how I was then, and how I am now. Okay? I'm a lot different. But send me an email, Slave Descendants of the USA, and we can get together on a Zoom. Take it easy.